That's some real professional radio stuff right there.
Oh, you know it, man. It's
Did you learn that in podcasting school?
Yeah. I went for a whole semester. And
Really?
yeah. Oh, you know it. It's Phoenix University.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I believe you just like I believe that your mom was a lesbian last night.
Yeah. That she's not.
No, yeah, you told me that.
As I mentioned, yeah.
You told me that.
No. I don't know. I'm still in the process of learning the bringing my actual reality into.
Well, you don't have to. It's not a rule.
No, that's true.
But you can't be surprised when you tell a joke that your mom's a lesbian and people after the show are like, "Oh, so what's it like having a lesbian mom?"
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, because one time I had, I said this last guy I interviewed, oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Andy Woodhull, by the way.
Hey.
So, but no, there was a girl that came up after the show because I've got a couple jokes about having a girlfriend, and she came up after the show, and I say that I have a girlfriend, and then I say we broke up, and I say I'm dating, so I kind of clarify that I'm not with anybody. And she goes, "So, what would your girlfriend think if she saw me talking to you?" I said, "She's not real. She doesn't." I said, "I'm not dating anybody." She's like, "No, you have a girlfriend and all this stuff. Like, what would she say?" I was like, "She'd still say nothing. She's fictitious. Like, I can't, So, yeah. People
Sound like that girl wanted you to have a girlfriend.
a little bit, I guess.
She wanted. She wanted to ruin someone's life. She wasn't just looking for one night.
I should have just played into it, been like, yeah, she'd be really upset. But I'm okay with making her upset. just roll with it.
It'd be worth it to spend some time with you.
Yeah, that perfect line. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket.
Yeah,
just in case that happens this week. So good, sir. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, whilst we were eating breakfast, it's kind of about just road stories and anything that you might kind of have and stuff. So
I feel like you're putting a lot of the pressure on me for your podcast.
Yeah, no, it's just a little bit, No, I don't know.
Do specific questions, or you just want me to,
I'm trying to
tell you everything?
Okay, we talked about this earlier. You said that obviously it's not that big a deal, but sleep in your car and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest deal. Because you said that you, again, I read an interview with you or whatever, and you said you worked at, a lab or something?
Yeah, I worked at a lab. We sold clay, bentonite clay, specific type of clay. This is clay of 1,000 uses. It's really great. I've talked about it before on podcasts, but if you want clay, you should get in touch with the American Colloid Company. They sell a fine bentonite clay. It's great for use in making cat litter clump and making molds for metal casting. That's the biggest use, and 1,000 other uses. Like it's in paper. It's what holds fragrance in lotion and detergent. It holds color in lipstick. It's an amazing thing that we get right out of the earth and use every day and don't even know about. And I used to work in that lab, and I did stand-up comedy. And if a gig was 4 hours from home or less, I would go to work for the whole day, and then I would drive to the gig or drive to the comedy show, do the comedy show, and then drive back home and go to work the next day. And sometimes I would sleep in my car in the parking lot at work, or just at a rest stop. But I still sleep at a rest stop sometimes if I go on a long drive.
Right.
And you gotta go to sleep. I sleep at a rest stop.
Wait, what were you driving back then? Because that's really gonna change. Because I've got in my.
Oh yeah, you have a big truck. Yeah. I didn't have that. I had a Jetta for part of it, and then at the end I had a Honda Civic. And you just lay the seat back, get a blankie,
get as comfy as you can.
Pillow, yeah, you go to sleep. It's not. Oh, you don't sleep in your car to get a good night's sleep. You sleep in your car because you have to go to sleep for a while. So
yeah,
you're usually tired by the time that you're finally parked somewhere and decide to go to sleep.
You haven't run it to where you've almost fallen asleep on the road, have you? I'm assuming you might.
No, but what I have done, because I can tell my body is about to fall asleep, and so I'll get off the road. I never drive dangerously. That's stupid. But what I have done is have a ton of nightmares that I did fall asleep driving while I'm asleep in my car at a rest area.
Okay.
Because maybe your body still knows that you're in the car. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'll wake up scared.
Yeah. I felt like I did that. I was driving back from Vegas not too long ago, and I had to pull over, and I was like, There was one time I just did the, and I was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
you got to get off the road. It's dangerous.
It's exactly what I did, man. No, and I pulled over at a Dairy Queen rest stop and got myself a dip cone, got on the road afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Eating an ice cream cone is something that'll keep you awake.
well, like I took a nap first.
Oh, okay.
And then I woke up.
No, it would. That's a really physical task.
Well, because whenever
If I get real sleepy, sometimes I get ribs. I just try to eat a whole plate of ribs. I saw at this gas station that they have a crock pot that you plug into your cigarette lighter, which sounds like the ultimate road trip to me, to just make chili while you're on a road trip. I'm just making chili, and I'm driving to Vegas. Yeah, and then you put the crock pot in your lap, just eat it right out of there. I'm gonna do that one day. It's a dream of mine.
Yeah, but and then you could add in the added layer of danger because you got to cut the vegetables while it's driving. And then
yeah. I guess I was thinking all the ingredients were pre-chopped, and then you just cook it. But you're going a whole level further than me.
Well,
and chopping the vegetables.
We don't. Yeah. You wouldn't have to. I mean, you could pre-chop everything, but that just takes the adventure out of making chili while it's driving. That's true. Not just chili. You could do
like a pork shoulder.
A roast. Yeah, you could do a roast.
Yeah, I love slow cooked food, and driving. I've never combined it before.
Never thought about that. Of course, yeah. I mean, sleeping's great and driving's great, but yeah, that's one you really can't combine.
No,
unless someone else is driving for you.
Yeah, then it's really easy to do.
Which I've done before. Have you ever? I've just jumped in my head because it's odd to me whenever someone else drives my vehicle. Mm-hmm. I hate being in the passenger seat.
It's hard to sleep with someone else driving your car.
Yeah, that's true. But every time I'm in the passenger seat of my own car, it's just the most uncomfortable thing. I'm like, because you're never there. You never sit on that side. And that ended up abruptly. I don't know, man. But, yeah, no. I'm trying, dude. Like I said, second podcast episode. So
second. Maybe I don't want to be overly critical, but maybe prepare some questions.
No, that's a very
to
good
keep
point.
the podcast going. Maybe some prepared questions.
It's a very See, I felt so confident with the first one because, of course, it's one of my good friends, so it was just more. It was more natural, obviously.
Oh, sure.
So I was just.
Yeah, we met last night.
Yeah, valid point. Valid point. I didn't even, Because then I could just go, okay, you got pulled over by a cop. Tell the story. Go.
I've gotten pulled over before, and
that just seems a little.
What happens is I get a ticket, and then I pay it, and I say, "I'm sorry, I was a speeding officer." Sometimes I try to say that I'm a comedian, and I think maybe that's worked once, but I feel like it didn't work. That's just how often people get warnings as opposed to tickets.
Yeah, I've gotten a few warnings.
Yeah, I've only gotten one warning. It was in the morning in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was on the way to do a radio show, and I told him that, and then he let me go. Oh man, being a comedian is so great.
Yeah, I got a warning. Didn't get a ticket. It's not too bad. Yeah, I got a warning. This is about 3 weeks ago. I got 2 warnings within like 4 days of each other. But I got one at night, and I went to Whataburger, and I was like, I just got pulled over. Mm-hmm. You should give me a discount. Mm-hmm. And she gave me a discount.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
It's like
makes me feel like they would just give anyone a discount if they asked for it.
Possibly, it was Whataburger. I don't know. I say that like it's a bad thing. I don't know, but it's my mantra of if you don't ask, you don't get. So.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Make
people tell you no.
Yeah.
It's a good way to live. Those cups right there look like they're definitely stolen from a restaurant. Those are some restaurant cups.
Yeah.
Those look like Pizza Hut, like 1990s Pizza Hut Coca-Cola glasses.
Of course, almost drop it. My roommate or landlord, whatever, she actually worked at a restaurant, and they were. I think they went out of business or something like that.
Did they go out of business because she stole all of their plates and silverware and cups?
I'm not at liberty to discuss. The case has not been closed quite yet, and the statute of limitations hasn't gone. But no, yeah, she just... Do we have a fucking thing full of them. They're just like top to
Oh, wow.
bottom, just like nothing but Coca-Cola cups. So if you would like one, you're more than
No, that's fine.
you're more
That's
than
fine.
happy to steal a
We have cups.
1995
I have plenty of cups in my house.
pizza. So since you're on the road, like, so how many weeks a year do you get out?
I would guess like between 40 and 45, something like that. Maybe closer to 45. A lot.
Right. And you were married for what? You said 2 years?
I've been married for 2 years, just over. My anniversary was in October.
Well, late congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Happy belated
Thanks, man.
Anniversary congratulations.
Made it to the 2 years.
That's awesome, man. Tough on her for you to leave, or?
Maybe, but also, we never lived together until we were married. So I think that can hurt a relationship when you have a job and then you decide you want to become a comedian, and now all of a sudden, like, you have this relationship where you're together all the time and now you're gone half of the time. I think that can be really hard on a relationship, and I have had, I think a lot of comedians had like a girl that they were super in love with, and then comedy kind of ruined the relationship.
Yeah.
But with my wife, we never lived in the same city even until we got married. And so it's kind of normal. Like, our relationship has always been that I've been gone on the weekends. It's not like there was something and then that went away. It's just, this is what the relationship's always been. And I think that makes it easier, but I'm sure it's still not the best to have a husband that's always gone. But
Right.
I don't know. We have a fun life. She takes care of the kids, coaches swimming, and does painting. So what's great is when I'm home, she's not busy. So the days that I'm home, we're together 24 hours a day, and then I'm gone for 3 or 4 days. So it kind of evens out. This is what we often talk about. The amount of time that we have together is similar to someone that just has a 50 or 60-hour work week, but it's just all the time is at once instead of a little bit every day.
I didn't think about that. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great way to pitch being a comedian to your girlfriend.
I'm going to be back some. I'm going to be gone some.
But when you're home, you're there for the whole time.
It's for you. Yeah, that's a good point. So you said, what did you say, 15 years? Or is
12 years I've been doing stand-up. 12 years. 12 years. I quit my job at the Clay Laboratory in 2008.
Were they sad to see you go?
I think so. I was sad to leave, too. I really liked the job. It was just, I was at a breaking point. Like I said, I was driving and doing shows and then driving back, and I was burnt out. It was at a point where I had to quit work or quit comedy, and it seemed like probably I wouldn't be in my 70s thinking, I should have never quit that Clay job that I had. Even though I did like it, don't want to say that I didn't like it.
What did you do?
I tested the clay for the metal casting industry. So it was I did a lot of quality control testing, but there was a lot of testing that happened in the lab. So the companies that we worked with would send their clay and sand mixes back to the lab, the stuff that they were using for metal casting, and we would test it for all these different properties to see if it was up to the specifications they needed for whatever type of metal they were trying to forge or something like that. So I did all those tests, wrote reports. It was great. Great.
Oh, that sounds like an odd question, but I'm actually interested. Like, that's one of those things that I never knew was.
Yeah, I didn't either until I got the job.
Were you on Craigslist?
No, I applied for. I have a degree in geology and another in environmental science, and so since it's a mineral company, is kind of a obvious place for me to apply for a job. I got it from some recruiter. You know, those recruiters that you meet after you go to college and they find jobs for you.
Right. Mm-hmm. I've been to plenty of those.
Yeah.
I got one, and then I stopped working for the company for the same reason, but I only worked there for like 4 months. And then I was like, I'm done.
Sure.
I'm gonna go now.
Sure.
Because I think things through. But man, why geology?
Well, I was in college. I was studying to go into advertising because I thought if you go into advertising, you just get to make up funny commercials. But that's like the smallest part of advertising, and those jobs are really hard to get. I guess that's what they told me. They were like, if you want creative, it's almost impossible to get those jobs. Maybe it's not impossible. That's what one dude told me, and I believed him. But anyway, I had my first advertising class, and it was all about marketing and kind of just like listening to focus groups and hearing what they say and then applying that to whatever product you're pitching. And it was so boring to me, and it also seemed like I just wanted to come up with like a funny commercial. I don't want to do research, and so after I had that class, I started to feel like I was wasting college. Like I just wasn't learning anything. I was gonna walk away. It was in the communication school too, and no offense to none of my professors are gonna, but in the communication school, it's not hard. That's like the easiest degree to get. It's the easiest degree.
Right.
It's easy. I'm not smart, but I would go to my communication classes and take the test, and I did fine, and I would never study. It's just, so I felt like I'm just going to college and I'm paying for a degree and I'm not learning anything. I'm going to leave here with no acquired knowledge.
Right.
And I had one class on earthquakes that I was really enjoying. So I talked to that professor and I talked to the professors in the geology department, and I'm like, oh, I could study this and actually leave here with, a knowledge base that I went and I became educated in something,
right.
rather than like in communication, it's just like all bullshit. Everything is bullshit. You just bullshit everything. And so that's what attracted me to it. And also the geology program, you go on a lot of field trips. So that also sounded really fun. So I did that. I switched the second semester of my junior year.
That's a hell of a ways into
I know. It was tough because I ended up going 5 years to finish, and I got 2 degrees, but the last 2 years was all science and math. It was all science and math, and it was really hard.
Oh, that would suck. I'm not a math person.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
It was really difficult. The only F I ever got was the last semester of my second senior year. It was Calculus 2, and all I had was science and math classes. Every class was hard, and my Calculus 2 professor, on the first day of class, he told us the syllabus, and one of the things was, I tried to do a joke about this for a while. I don't remember how the joke goes, but the story is, he told us, whatever grade you get on the final, if that's higher than your class average, that's your grade for the class. So like, if you have a D average in the class, but you get a B on the final, you get a B for the class. Okay. So he said that, and then like I was working so hard in my other classes, I thought I can just teach myself enough Calculus 2 to get a D, and I'll pass this class, and I don't have to worry about turning any homework or showing up for any class. And so that's what I thought, that I would be able to do that. And then I got like a 40% on the final and had to take Calculus 2 in summer school and didn't get my degree at the graduation. Yeah. I had to walk through the line and they hand you an empty folder. I think they do that for your parents, but yeah, I had to finish my Calculus 2 in community college that summer.
Okay, so you went from college to the lab to and then in the midst of that, kind of coinciding with comedy and stuff. Mm-hmm. So how long? Just because like I said earlier, I'm 3 years in. Just out of curiosity, like, did you kind of jump up the ranks quick, or?
I don't know. Maybe everybody has a different. I don't think there's a right amount to tell people, so I don't even like saying. I guess I can say what I. So, I was emceeing probably 6 or 7 months in. 6 or 7 months in, I was emceeing pretty regularly, and then after, I would say 3 or 4 years, I was featuring regularly. And then I probably started headlining in 2008 or 2009. And not until like 2 years ago was I only headlining, if that makes... Right. That's my progression. It took like 9 years to start getting headlining work and like 5 years to start. Maybe 4. Wait, what year is that? I won this one contest in 2004, so I guess that was only a year, so maybe 2 years, and I was middling regularly, but I would still take MC spots if I was offered them to get into clubs, because when I was I would just take every single thing that was offered to me. Yeah, and that's what everyone should do when they start. People sometimes get hung up on not wanting to host, and you should host, because if you have a home club, you can middle there maybe 2 or 3 times a year, but you could host there once a month. I mean, because clubs need strong hosts. Oh shit! Sorry.
You're good, man.
I kicked the microphone.
And it builds a skill that you can definitely kind of carry over into other things. Yeah,
I mean, the most important thing when you start is to get on stage and to write. And if you host, it really pushes you to do that. Because if the club has regulars, they don't want to see the same material, so you kind of have pressure to get good.
Yeah. And you've just did your third CD this year? Last year?
I did a third CD this year. Yeah. It released in March. It's called Step Parenting. It's available on iTunes and Amazon. It's my third album.
Pitch your wares, man. Have at it for the.
You could also listen to it on Spotify or Pandora.
For my 12 listeners. When, okay, just because I'm kind of new to this, how exactly do you go about recording a CD?
Well, I mean, there's different ways to do it. What I've done in the past is there is a company called Rooftop Comedy. And they have a website full of stand-up comedy clips that are great. And they also produce albums. And so I have done my last 2 albums with them. So what you do, you just kind of talk to them, and they have a deal that you agree to.
Right.
Maybe it's like a little different for everyone, but then you go into a club. And what I do is I do a whole week worth of shows, record them all, and then at the end of the week I pick the show that's going to be the baseline. Like this is going to be most of the show. And then after I pick that, I go through and tell them stuff I want cut or stuff I want added from other shows. And then from that, they build a set that becomes a CD. But when you listen to one of my albums, probably people do it differently, but I think this is how most people do it. It's mostly one show live with a couple edits and maybe 1 or 2 jokes pulled from a different set because they work better on a different show, or I forgot to do it on the night that I thought the crowd was the best.
Cool. Yeah, because I've got your first 2. And I've listened to them a good bit. What was it, Lucy and...
Sounds from the Rainforest was my first one, yeah.
Yeah, and I have the one joke that stands out to me or whatever is the coyote.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's not like I told him I saw Pegasus, man. Every time I hear that, I'm like, that's good.
Thank you.
But yeah, no.
Well, the new one's good, too. I'll give you a copy by the end of the week.
Sounds good. I've actually been wanting to get a hold of that one. Yeah, no. And then, again, being new to the whole thing, what is the whole... Did you approach someone with, like, Conan and stuff like that, or did they come to you? Or
no, it takes a while, and I've had managers and agents, and they have been helpful in, crossing those bridges for you because they have those contacts, but it's not impossible to do it without them. You just have to get the contact information of the people that book it, and then, email them, and you send a set in, and then they send you notes, and then you send another set based on those notes, and then you send another one, and eventually they either tell you, I just don't think you're going to be right for the show, or they tell you, okay, this is approved, and then you wait to get a date.
Cool.
That's how it works.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And like, did you have to? I mean, most of your sets clean and it's like family friendly and everything. So I'm guessing you didn't have to go through many notes. Or did you?
No. Well, I guess yes and no. The first set that I sent to the Tonight Show was long. I think it was like 9 or 10 minutes, and then they just asked for 5 minutes of that. And then I sent that, and that was it. That's basically the only notes that I got on that set. And then I did it. And then when I did Conan, I probably did notes with them because I was doing notes with him before I was on the Tonight Show. I did notes with them for, 3 or 4 years.
Holy hell, wow.
Until I got the set. And by the time I did the set, like none of the jokes from the original set that I sent them were on the set that I did. Which is good because it was so long that the jokes I had written since then were better.
Right. Mm-hmm. Cool. And then I guess kind of same thing with the half hour that you did. Is that...
half hour is a little different because it's so long you don't get notes. You just submit. I submitted 3 times, maybe 4 times. And then, obviously I finally got it on the last time. But I did... Last year, I hosted all the half hours. They hire a comic to come do warm up before people tape their specials.
Cool. And
so I got to do that. So I got to kind of see how they were taped, and also because I don't live in New York or LA, that gave the Comedy Central executives a chance to see me live because they had only really known me from my submissions, and they get to see people that live in LA and New York all the time. And they know how they are with crowds. They know that they're going to be good. It's hard to tell from a tape. I've never had to try to book someone from a tape, but I'm sure it's hard to tell.
Yeah. Yeah, because if anyone can hear my roommate talking in the background, he has no respect. Yeah, no, booking people from tape would definitely be kind of hard. Obviously, seeing them in person and stuff. So, how is the filming process of the half hour? Because did you do multiple sets?
No, just one. It's great. They pack a theater full of people that love to watch comedy, and you go in, and someone warms up the crowd, and then you go on stage and you do your half hour. And if you mess up, you can do the joke over right then, or at the end of your set, after you walk off the stage, they go, "Do you want to change anything?" And if you forgot something or you felt you did a joke wrong that you didn't automatically stop, because it's not live. I mean, it's recorded live, but it's edited because they edit a half hour into 22 minutes. So after you walk off stage, you can go back and fix anything that you want, to just give them the version that could be edited in.
So I bet that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did a couple things after my set, and it made it really fun because the most fun thing in stand-up comedy is doing stand-up comedy on TV. It's so fun. And when you do a TV set, it's over so fast that it's, like a roller coaster. You barely even, you're just, I'm having so much fun. But when I was doing the half hour, that part ends, and then it's just like, holy shit, I'm still doing this for another 25 minutes. Okay. It was so fun. And then I knew I forgot a couple jokes. So in my head, I was even thinking I get to come back and do an encore of these jokes that I forgot, which was super fun.
That's pretty cool. Because I know, just because I'm a comedy dork, because you did mostly new stuff, and then you ended with your Lucy joke, the Lucy bit. Was that...
I actually haven't watched it, so I don't know how they edited it.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't know how they edited it, but I didn't close with that joke.
You didn't? Oh,
on the
okay.
Taping, no.
Oh, cool. Okay, well...
So I don't know how they edited it. I watched a couple clips of it, and I was like, oh my God, I look so fat. I should have worked out before I did this, but I didn't. And so I haven't watched it. This is stupid of me, but I really haven't watched it. It was so fun taping that I want to have that memory of it and not the memory of... watch, maybe it's dumb to not watch, but I watch my sets to try to make jokes better, and I watch my sets, I guess just to try to make jokes better and to try to make myself a better comedian. But watching the whole half hour or watching just the short TV set, it's already done. All that's going to happen is, like, I'm going to find things I hate about it. I'm never going to watch it and just be like, I'm so great. I'm just going to watch it and be like, oh, why did I wear that shirt? You know what I mean?
Right.
So
right.
I don't watch it a ton.
Because that kind of, I'm assuming, happens the same thing whenever after you record a CD, because you do some of the jokes.
The CD is a little bit tougher because I'm involved in the editing process. And if I was involved in the editing process of the half-hour special, then I would have watched it because I would have, had input. But you can have input. Like, that's the wrong thing to say, because there is a thing with the half hours where people are like, I only want to do 22 minutes so that they won't be able to edit it and I'll get to put out exactly what I want. But that, I feel, is kind of a silly way to go about it, because in any set, some jokes may hit harder than other jokes. So I felt like, why not just give them 30 minutes of killing and then let them have a tough time deciding what 22 minutes they're going to put. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
When I did it, I think it's silly to be like, I'm only going to do the minimum. Because then there's no, if you have a joke that bombs, that joke has to go on the special. I don't know. I was trying to make another point, and then I can't remember what it is. But, yeah. Oh yeah. They're great, because after you finish, if you decide that, like, if I did a joke about my kids farting, and after I finish, if I felt that joke bombed, I could have emailed the people at Comedy Central and said, please cut that joke. I felt like it didn't go well. Or if I did a joke about my kids farting and thought, that joke killed, that was the best joke of the whole set, I could email them and say, definitely leave that in. Okay. So that I'm not there while they're editing it, but they do allow you to, like, you could have anything cut or anything left in that you want.
Okay. So you get a little bit of the creative kind of control on it.
Yeah.
Other than, obviously, doing the material itself. That's pretty cool. Did they do any other, did they record a couple comics like in one show, or is it always just one person?
Yeah, they do record. What they do is they tape 4 a night. Other than I taped the first night, and they only did 2 the first night. But the rest of the week, they tape them all in a week. They start on Monday, or maybe it's Tuesday, and they tape every night.
Like for a season?
Yeah, they tape the whole season in 1 week.
Right.
Yeah, because I got to be there last year too. So last year I saw every taping because I was doing the warm up. But what they do is they tape 2 with the same audience, and then that audience leaves, a new audience comes in, and then they tape 2 more.
Okay.
That's how they do it.
That's pretty cool. Because I always kind of wondered. And also, like, I know back when it was Comedy Central Presents, and then it switched to the half hour or whatever. Because there's some, like, because on, for instance, Dane Cook's, like, his, like, full unedited one is online. And there's some of them that are, like, I want to see. I'm like, I know there's more to that. And
I don't know. I don't know if they release those anymore, or I have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, probably if you become as famous as Dane Cook, they would release a full unedited version.
Well, but who is it? Gabriel Iglesias has one too. He did the Comedy Central Presents, but his unedited, like uncut thing is nowhere to be found.
Oh, really? Huh. Well,
which,
I don't know.
Neither do I.
Maybe they didn't save it, or that seems crazy. Well, like,
or is this one of those things too? I mean, maybe he doesn't want it out. I don't know. It's just like there's some jokes on there that like he swears on. Not that it's bad, but he'll say shit or something like that, and they cut it for television, but without it or whatever, it could be a little better. And I'd want to actually pay attention to it and everything. So I don't know, man. I'm bad at this hosting thing.
No, you're doing fine. Well, I would just recommend writing some questions at the beginning, and then when we're at a moment like this where like you don't know where the show's gonna go next, then you're like, I have another question that I want to ask you.
Yeah. All right, well, fine. I'll try and do this off the cuff. Really, it's cool. Like
yeah.
I said, second episode, I'm still learning.
No, it's fine.
I was I don't know, what was I gonna say? Either way, the most humor material you get from life in general, it's kind of more like observational, if you will. Was it always like that, or did you kind of like change into that, or have you always just talked about?
Well, when I first started, I loved Jerry Seinfeld. So the first few sets that I did were like Seinfeld style jokes, I would say. And then I did this 1 week on the road, which this is a story that I told 1,000 times on podcasts. So sorry if you listen to me on every podcast that I've ever been on.
Well, that means that you're fans.
I did a road. My first ever trip on a road gig was Tommy Johnigan and I were sharing the opening spot for Mike Birbiglia.
Oh, how was that?
So fun. It was the first time I had ever seen him, and like I was just blown away with how funny he was. And he told us that night, because we were young comedians just asking for advice and probably really annoying him, he said that the only way to be original is to write about yourself, because no matter how funny your joke is, just for example, like about Donald Trump's hair, there's 1,000 other comics writing that joke, and there's comics that are writing that joke for, Conan and Jay Leno and David Letterman to perform. So the only way that you can be original, really, is to write about yourself, because that stuff happened to you, and it didn't happen to other people. And so after that, I did start writing more personal things. And less, my best joke when I first started was about how I thought it was dumb that milk would advertise. You know what I mean? But like, there's probably a ton of people that came up with a joke about why it's dumb that milk advertised. In fact, I saw Gary Goldman do a joke about why it was dumb for milk to advertise, and I had to quit doing the joke.
Yeah, I didn't even think
because
about
mine was so similar. Yeah. That's why I write about myself.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because I'm still kind of, obviously, that's the joke about my mom.
Yeah, you figure it out. And you don't have to, and it doesn't have to be that way either. There's plenty of people that don't talk about themselves and still are crazy funny.
Right.
You don't have, it's not the only way to do it. It's, I guess what I've found works for me. It's also hard for me to come up with premises. And so when something funny happens in your life, it's like, oh, that's a premise. And you don't have to go fishing for them.
Yeah. Have you ever had any like writer's block, or no, since you kind of choose from?
I don't know if I've had anything called, like, I would call writer's block. I'm definitely lazy about writing. Like, I've had just, months where I went without sitting down in front of a piece of paper. but I was never sitting down and just being like, oh, I can't think of anything. I was just like not doing it.
Yeah. Because there's a couple friends of mine that they say I've got crazy writer's block, and I'm not bragging or anything. I don't think I ever have writer's block. I just do the same thing. I just don't write. But if anything funny happens in my life, it goes to my phone. Like I've automatically got it.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
So yeah, I don't know. So you said Jerry Seinfeld. Any
Yeah, he was my favorite when I first started. I forget what a big influence the show Seinfeld was on me as a person until those episodes all went on Hulu. And I've been watching them with my kids and just like, oh my gosh, all of my inside jokes with my friends were jokes from Seinfeld. The show is the best.
I haven't really gotten too far into it.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Well, you're 11 years younger than me, but I think that show holds up. I think it's still super funny. I'll watch a Friends episode every once in a while in a hotel room and just think, why did anyone like this?
Really?
Yeah.
See, I love Friends.
Oh, Friends.
I personally do.
Seinfeld is so much funnier.
Well, okay. Like I'll have, I've been planning on like sitting down and giving it a watch.
Yeah, you really should, man. It's so good.
The
first 2 seasons are okay, and then 3rd season and beyond, it's the best show that's ever been on TV.
Okay, because the first season's like what, only like 8 episodes or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is shorter.
Yeah, because I remember watching something on YouTube they did. It was like how the show got started or whatever. It's interesting because they were like on this little tiny network and they did something and then got carried and it eventually was on NBC or CBS, or I think it's NBC.
Yeah, I think it was on NBC the whole time.
But either way, yeah, no. So, any other influences, or kind of?
Well, I loved Bill Cosby himself and Bill Cosby Revenge, but it's like you can't even bring up Bill Cosby anymore. Yeah. But those were big. I loved those albums, and then I loved Chris Rock. He was one of my favorites when I started, and then like these are all like those are the people that I loved before I got into stand-up comedy, and then after I got into stand-up comedy, then I found out about Louis C.K. and Mike Birbiglia, who, just that one conversation kind of changed the way I did comedy. And then I also was just a big fan of his. And my first MC week ever was with Bill Burr.
Holy hell.
And I have been just a huge fan. Like I MC'd, well, it's not technically MCing that one with Mike Birbiglia because they didn't have an MC, but like Mike Birbiglia and Bill Burr, I still love both of them. They're so funny. And they were like among the first people I ever got to open for. So I'm really lucky that way.
That's crazy. Of course, and how long ago was that? Because I guess that would be like...
It was in 2003.
So this is before they like blew up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, when I hosted for the week with Mike Birbiglia, I think his half-hour special had just come out. And the week that I did with Bill Burr, he was currently on the Chappelle Show. So it was while they were becoming successful.
I didn't know Burr was on Chappelle's Show.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't on every sketch, but he was in a few sketches on the Chappelle Show. I think the most famous one he was on is the race draft. I think he's on that sketch when they're drafting.
Yeah.
Who's going to be in what race? Yeah.
People might hate me. I have not seen most of Chappelle's Show.
Well, that's why you don't know that he was on there.
Right, well, but it's one of those things that's something I thought that I would have heard.
I think all you know is Dave Chappelle was on the Chappelle Show.
Well, no, I know. Well, I know that Christian Finnegan was on an episode. I know that because I saw he did. What were they doing? I think they did the Ghetto, Real World, or something like that. And then like his girlfriend ends up coming over, and then she hooks up with all the other dudes in the house, and he's just crying or something like that. I remember that one. I don't know. Bill Burr would have seemed like an odd thing, but
who's on there?
All right then, I'll believe you. I kind of have to. I've got nothing but your word to go with. Oh man,
I was on there too.
Oh really? Now? Well, yeah, I was the second grip. I held that mic. Oh, that's funny. But you don't like Friends? Oh, dude.
No, I don't like Friends. I liked it when it came out, but every time I watch a Friends episode now, just like this to me does not hold up as a comedy.
See, that's exactly how it was. When I was a kid, that's when it came out. Like, it came out, it started in 94. I was 3. Not to make you feel old. And, and so, like, yeah, so it kind of came out, and I never really watched it. And I had, like, a week that I was studying abroad that we had a week off. And I switched. I'd watch the first season of Friends, first season of Frasier, second season of Friends, second season of Frasier. And I just switched that back in between them, because I didn't know them. I knew of them, but I really didn't watch them everything. So I kind of fell back in love with it.
Yeah. All right.
As
I mean,
actual...
Seinfeld's way better than both those shows, but whatever you want to do, man.
Okay, fine. I'll check out is it the Seinfeld? Is that what it's called? No, I'm joking. No, I'll check out Seinfeld because my dad loves it, and I kind of.
Well, I'm not saying you have to watch it. I'm just saying it's my favorite TV show of all time.
I need to anyway, mainly because me and my dad we need new topics to discuss. We're getting sick and tired of, did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. All right, cool. Those just, mundane conversations get dead.
Sure.
But, so, Christmas coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a terrible segue, but I'll work into it. Obviously you're going to get to be home for the kids.
Yeah, I'll be home for Christmas, and then I'm doing good nights in Raleigh for the 2 days after Christmas.
Oh, well, there you go. Oh, by the way,
that's where I live.
I think I'm going to have this go out Tuesday.
Okay.
So, Tulsa Looney Bin,
I'll be at
right?
the Tulsa Looney Bin next week.
Fun. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Who's hosting? Who's featuring? Do you know?
I don't know.
Come on, man. Of course,
I don't know.
I say that. You didn't know that I was
I'm not famous enough to get to bring my own opening acts, so I don't know. It's whoever's there.
Okay, so let's go with who's some of your favorite, I guess, the features stuff that you've got to work with that to run into?
I don't know. That'd be a long list, I guess, of people that most people haven't heard of.
I guess that sounds like
I have a lot of friends that have featured for me, and I know a lot of people that are currently features on the road that are really funny. I don't know. You just want me to list names?
No. See, again, this is
my buddy Mike Cronin. I try to bring as much as I can.
Didn't you? I'm pretty sure. Fuck, I want to say I watched that video where you talk about his mom. Yeah,
I talk about his mom in one video. He has a joke that where he talks about how he was watching the I forget what they're called, like the Flag Squad, the girls in the band that twirl the batons and stuff that don't play instruments.
Right.
And he was talking about how they must be really good at hand jobs, and then his mom says that she used to be one of them. And he tells that joke, and then sometimes I go up after him, and then I talk for a long time about how good his mom is at hand jobs.
I do remember that.
Yeah, I do that.
That was pretty good. So, do you, whenever you're, I guess, working on new material, do you ever try, I guess since you don't open mic or anything.
I go to open mic.
Do you really?
Yeah.
So
I go to open mic.
Is that where you try out new stuff, or do you try and
I do try out new stuff at open mic, but not exclusively. I use open mic for new stuff and also to try to tighten up TV sets. But I'll do new stuff at open mic. I also will do new stuff in my set during the week. I'll generally I'll try to sprinkle it in like after a joke that I know did really well, and then I always have a joke that I know is going to do really well in case the new joke doesn't go well. And I don't know, I do more on Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday shows than Friday, Saturday. But I do new jokes in my set on a regular basis.
I got you. Okay, what's your favorite joke you've written? Is that a tough one?
I don't know. Whatever one's working right now that's newest is my favorite. My favorite ones right now are one about my daughter learning how to lie, one about my wife asking me how I want to die, and one about the way that we pack is different for vacation. Those are like my three favorite jokes right now because they're my three newest jokes that are working well.
Yeah, you did those last night. Those were good. Yeah, the corn. That was
it's really not a poop joke. If you just say the corn, I think everyone's going to think it's a poop joke, and it's not. It's a joke.
It's about canned good corn.
You can find it. No, you can't find it. It's only on live. It's not on any album, so you have to come to a show.
It's only on live. Mm-hmm. I like that. That's funny, man. All right, this is fun.
Yeah, well, do we do it? How long do we do? I feel like we completed a podcast.
Yeah, we're sitting at 46 minutes.
All right. I mean, that's a whole headlining set.
Yeah, definitely. We can call it quits, and I will get to run you back to the condo.
Yeah, man. Thanks for driving me around. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
Not a problem. If you want to let everyone know any upcoming dates or Twitter and all that good information.
Okay. Tulsa Looney Bin. this week, andywoodhull.com is my website. All my stuff's on there, and Andy Woodhull on all social media.
Yeah, we talked about it. You're lucky. I have a stupid one Andrew Rose and then underscore Andrew Rose.
Yeah, there's not a lot of Andy Woodhulls. There's like 8, I think. I friend requested all of them on Facebook before. Only a few returned my request.
Just to do it?
Well, I thought of this bit that I thought we would be able to do together where we would try products and then we could post like 8 out of 10 Andy Woodhulls endorse this product. But it didn't work because only 2 of them, I think, accepted my friend request. Probably everyone else thought I was someone trying to steal their identity.
Well, you can still say 2 out of 3.
Yeah, we could. Maybe I should talk to those fellas.
That's funny. Awesome. Andrew Rose, Andy Woodhull, thanks for being on here. And
yeah.
awesome.
Thanks.